Oh,
Yes, Your Honor.
okay, all right. Okay, that's fine, I just couldn't see him, okay. All right, Council, you ready?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, we are going on the record in the matter of the state of Michigan versus Allah Al Aboudi, 231317. And Detective, your name for the record, please.
Good morning, Your Honor. Detective Joseph Carr, wind up, please.
All right, please raise your right hand. You solemnly swear from the testimony about to give this matter to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. You may proceed on the warrant.
Your Honor, on August 16th, about 9 p.m., officers reported they observed a white 2016 Mercedes-Benz with tinted windows and black rims driving recklessly at a high rate of speed near Biddle and St. John's. Officers reported that the suspect vehicle was observed tailgating and swerving in and out of traffic northbound Biddle Ave. Officer Adam Grove reported the driver's side window was partly down, where he observed the driver, later identified as the defendant, Ali Al Aboudi, was observed. The vehicle stopped at the red light at Biddle and Emmons, where Officer Grove was able to observe the attached license plate, later identified as Michigan personalized plate NEBERRL8. The defendant then accelerated at a high rate of speed from the stoplight, squealing its tires. Officers noted that they activated the emergency lights and sirens of the fully marked patrol vehicle and attempted to stop the vehicle to no avail. The defendant continued northbound Biddle into E-course, disregarding officers' attempt to stop him. Officers further reported that the vehicle continued northbound West Jeff onto Outer Drive westbound in eastbound lanes, where the pursuit was soon terminated. A lean SOS check on the suspect vehicle registered, a lean SOS check on the vehicle noted that the defendant lived on Barton Street in Dearborn. A short time later, officers checked the Dearborn address and observed the suspect vehicle parked in the driveway unoccupied. The vehicle was then impounded for further investigation. The vehicle was loaded onto a Grove Brothers flatbed truck, where tow truck driver noted a subject on a cafe-style motorcycle attempting to stop him or get onto the bed area of the truck at a stoplight. The tow truck driver was able to see the motorcyclist's face and further reported to officers. The suspect vehicle was then towed to the Wyandotte Police Station for further investigation. On August 18th, Detective Haskins prepared a search warrant for the vehicle, which was reviewed and signed by the 27th District Court Judge. The search warrant was then executed where there's no signs of forced entry into the vehicle and no keys found. The defendant's wallet and Michigan driver's license, social security card, and other forms of personal identification were found inside the vehicle and recovered as evidence. On August 21st, a photo lineup was prepared and presented to the tow truck driver, where he made a positive identification of the defendant seen approaching his truck. On August 22nd, a photo lineup was prepared and presented to Officer Adam Grove. We made a positive identification of the defendant as being the suspect driver fleeing from him in the white Mercedes-Benz on August 16th.
All right, thank you. Upon examination of complaining witness, I find the offense charge was committed, and there's probable cause to believe the defendant committed the offense. And counsel, your appearance, please.
Good morning, Your Honor. Hassan Basic, B7844 on behalf of Mr. Al Aboudi, who is present via Zoom. Mr. Aboudi, can you state your name?
Ali Al Aboudi.
Thank you. All right, and counsel, as to the arraignment.
Fully from Marie, pending the charges as for a probable cause conference.
All right, the court will waive the formal reading. Mr. Al Aboudi, you understand that you do have the right to have an attorney. If you cannot afford one, the court will appoint one to represent you, and you've exercised your right to retain your own attorney, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. You also have the right to be presumed innocent until proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. You have the right to have a trial by a judge or by a jury. You also have the right to remain silent. Anything you say orally or in writing may be used against you in court. Do you understand those rights, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, the court's going to waive enter plea of not guilty on your behalf. Schedule this matter for probable cause conference on September 7th at 8:40 a.m. And council, just so you're aware, we do conduct our PCCs by Zoom. You're more than welcome to come in person. But I don't know what your schedule is like that day, but just so you know, we do conduct the PCCs by Zoom. I just ask that you speak to the prosecuting attorney beforehand. Okay. I'm sorry?
It's home on your city.
Yes, Mr. Shaw, yes. Okay, and ask the bond counsel.
Judge, I'm gonna ask for a personal bond. I've been in constant contact with the detectives. As soon as this happened, I think the very next day, we've been going back and forth with regards to the car. We got this warrant signed relatively fast for being out of custody. Yesterday night, late afternoon, I got a call that they signed the warrant. I called my client. We turned himself in this morning and I signed, and I sent over the appearance. I'm gonna ask for a personal bond. Judge is 29 years old, no criminal history. I know this is a serious offense. Luckily, nobody was hurt in this case. And again, lives with his father, lives with his family in the city of Dearborn, longtime resident, and he's a working. I'm asking for a personal bond.
Okay. I don't know that the no criminal history is accurate, counsel. Your client seems to have had a prior fleeing and eluding in Detroit.
Well, I wasn't aware of that.
Okay, well, I mean, well, that's, I didn't think that you were.
I wouldn't make that statement if I was.
And it indicates that your client has a suspended license. What's your license status, sir?
What is it?
What's your license stamp?
I should have my clearance papers from my other lawyer.
What?
Like, it shouldn't be suspended.
He has his clearance letter. He has his clearance letter from a different attorney.
Well, okay. So you have the original charge is fleeing and eluding. This is the one back from 2015, convicted in 2016. Then it says the resulting plea was a fleeing and elude third degree. Then Bluefield Hills in 2021, careless driving, reduced to limited access 75 and a 70. Then Dearborn in 2021, just a couple of months later, speeding, reduced to limited access 56 and a 55. And this then it shows in Royal Oak in 2022, limited access, speeding, reduced to 75, limited access 75 and a 70. Then in April, he received a citation of 23 for reckless driving. And this is out of Detroit. And it appears as though he defaulted on that on June 13th. So that would be why he's suspended, presumably.
Yeah. I'll handle that ticket for him. I'll handle it before.
I don't know that your client should be operating a motor vehicle at all.
But Your Honor, it's fair to say that if he does have a suspended license, I'll talk to him so that he's not allowed to. Technically, he can't be driving.
He cannot be driving, but it's still alleged he was driving.
And Judge, if you want to make that as a bond condition that says that he can't drive without a valid license, then that's a bond condition that I'll have to.
Well, let's see, he also, okay, he's got another matter out of Detroit he failed to appear on for unregistered vehicle and no insurance, and that was on July 5th that warrant was entered. June 13th, the other warrant was entered.
I'll show you that I'll talk to my client and if he's making on these cases, I will definitely answer them. I can't say that at the PCC, but those definitely have.
And Detective, would you like to address bond?
Your Honor, after reviewing the defendant's criminal history and as you noted, his driving history and outstanding warrants, I'm going to recommend $500, at least a $500 cash bond to reassure his next court appearance. Mr. Alaboudi and his attorney did work with the police department in the matter, and he did show up today to turn himself in. I would concur with that with the council. So anything else I would leave up to the court's decision, Your Honor.
Judge, we have no objection to the $500 bond if that's what the court wants. That's not.
Okay, sir, where do you work?
I work at the Hudson Cafe at, my buddy owns it in Northville. I'm a cook, a line cook.
You say Northville or Roseville?
Northville.
Well, how do you plan to get back and forth to work? Because you absolutely cannot drive. Number one, you're suspended, you have a suspended license. Number two, one of this court's conditions, even if you had a valid license, was no driving because you have some serious issues with your driving behavior. But how do you expect to get back and forth to work?
My mom can drop me off. I can get a ride. I can Uber. I can find a ride.
Are you currently on probation or parole anywhere, sir?
No, ma'am.
Okay, the court's going to indicate the following bond. $5,000, 10% bond. In the event bond is posted, you're not to possess or consume any alcohol or drugs unless prescribed. No driving, sir. None. 0.
Yes, Your Honor.
And I'm going to indicate GPS tether.
Your Honor,
No house arrest. Through EMS tether. Yes, counsel?
Your Honor, with regards to tether, he's gonna be in custody for like.
No, he's not. I just indicated EMS tether.
Oh, okay,
so-
so you can call EMS.
EMS is going to be coming here and they'll put it on.
Okay, and Your Honor, I mean, he turned himself in as soon as we came in there. His court date is next week. If this gets bound over, I mean, it's gonna be whether, there's no, I don't wanna say there's no point in there. There's no caveat history with regards to any felony cases. I understand.
Well, whether it's
there's traffic-
felony or not, counsel,
I know,
your
there's
client,
traffic.
if your client isn't even appearing for some, traffic offenses and traffic misdemeanors, and now he has this one, which he already had a prior, and he seems to have a history of, dangerous driving behavior. I want to make sure that your client is for sure not driving and for sure going to appear in court.
And Judge, I'm not trying to be a dead horse, and I don't want you to get mad at me or
I'm
anything.
not
But
mad.
what is the GPS tether gonna prove that he's not driving?
Well,
I mean, you know, I'm just asking because he
the
turned himself.
no
in.
driving order is going to determine whether or not he's driving. And on the GPS tether, the court can make sure that he's appearing in court. So if he's not showing up, then we can figure out where he's at.
Judge, I'm sure he's gonna show up to court. He retained our firm. I've been in constant contact with the detective since the day this happened. We turned himself in, talked to the detectives. They were gonna recommend a personal bond. Obviously, now that they know that, driving record, they were gonna do it. I mean, if you're gonna hire the bonder, you're gonna revoke his bond if he doesn't show up to court. It's in his best interest to show up to court anyways, obviously.
Of course it is, but he still didn't, that didn't matter to him when he didn't appear for the other matters. So we can revisit the issue of the tether next week, but let's see what happens between now and then. So EMS can come here and,
Today, Your Honor, because he's gotta go to work.
I understand that. That's why I indicated EMS tether, so he doesn't have to stay in custody. He can pay the cost for EMS to come here. I believe it's I think it's $181 or something like that. They'll have to pay in addition to the $500, but they'll come here.
May I ask my client if he's got the money with him or?
Yes.
Mr. Alaboudi, do you have the money with you at around $681?
I don't have it on me, no, but I can call my brother.
Okay, I'll call your brother. Can you give me his number?
Well, hold on,
Give him
hold on. Since we're live streaming, I don't think that his brother wants everybody and their brothers to have his number. So you can either go in the back to get it or the detective can bring it out.
Okay, I can go.
Okay. All right, thank you. Anything else?
We'll allow the defendant to use a cell phone for that, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. See, he
All
can
right.
call his brother on his own. Go ahead, you can call him. All right.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. We'll see you
All right.
next week.
Thank you.
Okay, have a good day.
September 7th, right?
September 7th? Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.